He sat in his car outside the house he used to own for 42 minutes. The engine remained off. His hands rested on the wheel as if waiting for permission that would never come. The house now belonged to someone else. The porch light was a warmer yellow than he remembered. Curtains he had never picked hung in the windows he used to look out of every morning. He did not get out. He did not walk up the drive. He did not knock or call or explain why he was there. He simply sat, the cold from the seats seeping into his coat, until the moment felt complete. Then he turned the key, eased the car forward, and drove away into the gathering dark. Marcus had followed every rule for 12 years, built his construction business the way a man is supposed to, and still watched it come apart over 14 months. The slow kind of life comeback that begins long before anyone sees it. It wasn't one bad call, a market no one had warned him about, a partner who withdrew without explanation. 3 months where the checks stopped, but the crews still showed up every morning. He closed the doors on a Tuesday. No announcement, no filing for bankruptcy. He simply stopped answering the business phone and let the silence settle in. The real loss wasn't the trucks or the contracts. It was the shape of his days. At 41, he had no idea who he was when the thing that had named him for 12 years was gone. He kept moving anyway, because that was what the man he used to be would have done. That same afternoon, he drove to the bank to check a balance he already knew was empty. He sat in the parking lot for 17 minutes before going inside. For the next 8 months, he carried it without letting it show. He told his wife things were being restructured. 6 months of that sentence. 3 months of waking at 4 in the morning and lying perfectly still so she wouldn't feel the mattress shift. The exhaustion was precise. It lived in the small performances, the steady voice on the phone, the lunch packed the night before, the way he kept the same schedule even though nothing in the schedule still existed. He needed the external shape of the old business to know how to begin anything at all. Without the company name on the side of the truck, without the official title, he couldn't start something that had no name yet. He waited for the next thing to look like the last thing before he allowed himself to move toward it. But every morning he started getting up at 5, not to work, just to sit at the kitchen table with coffee before his wife woke. 11 weeks of the same chair, the same window light, the same mug warming in his hands while the house stayed quiet.
He stopped telling her it would be fine. Not because he stopped believing it, because he realized he had been saying it so often it had started to sound like a script. And scripts don't comfort people. They just cover the silence. On the morning of the 12th week, he didn't reach for the coffee first. He sat down and opened the notebook that had been lying untouched on the table. He wrote 3 words, closed it,
Stood up and made breakfast like any other morning. His wife came downstairs, kissed his cheek, noticed nothing different. Nothing looked different. Everything was. The table that had held 11 weeks of waiting had finally been given something to hold. In the first week after that morning, he called a former client, not to pitch, just to ask what the client had actually needed back then that Marcus had never quite delivered. He listened for 40 minutes and took notes on the back of an envelope. 3 weeks later, he did one small job alone. No crew, no company name, a deck repair for a neighbor. He charged less than it was worth and stayed an extra hour to make sure the rails were perfectly level. 7 weeks in, he told his wife, not the whole story, just 3 sentences over dinner. She didn't say much. She stood up and made them both another plate. He understood that was its own answer.
By the 3rd month, he registered the new business. Different name, smaller scope, no partner. The paperwork took 20 minutes at the kitchen table. He sat with the folder for 2 hours afterward, staring at the signature. He did not know yet whether any of this would become something, but he noticed, somewhere in the 3rd month, that he had stopped checking whether it felt like the right time. The checking had quietly stopped, and something else had taken its place.
14 months after the old business closed, Marcus stood on a small job site with a crew of 3. A client walked over, casual as anything, and said, "You're good at this." Marcus nodded once, went back to measuring. That evening, driving home, he passed the street where his old office had been. He did not slow down, but 3 seconds later something settled inside him that hadn't been settled in a long time.
He realized he hadn't thought about the old business in 11 days, not pushed it away, not avoided the memory. It had simply stopped being the point he measured everything against. He didn't understand it then, fully. But there are things a man only learns to carry by first losing the thing he thought he needed to stand upright. And what he was building now, he could not have built before the loss. The loss was the prerequisite. He kept driving, the radio low, the road straight ahead. Early the next morning, the kitchen table waited as it always had. Same mug of coffee, same quiet light through the window. But the notebook lay open now, and it had been open every morning for the last 14 months. Most men who lose the shape of their life at 41 begin performing recovery long before anything has actually healed.
They speak about new chapters. They post the updates. They keep the schedule looking full so no one notices the quiet underneath. Marcus didn't. He simply sat at the kitchen table every morning while the house was still dark. No announcements, no timeline, no attempt to make the loss look productive. The silence nobody saw was not a gap waiting to be filled. It was not strength being built in secret. It was the exact condition required to build something that could never have been built while the old noise was still echoing. He didn't start over. He started from what the loss had left behind, which turned out to be more than it first appeared. And years later, when the new work had taken root, the morning still began in the same place. The table remained, the coffee cooled slowly. Some foundations are only poured once the scaffolding has been taken down and no one is left watching. He sat in his car outside the house he used to own one last time. The engine stayed off. His hands rested on the wheel exactly as they had before. The porch light still burned that warmer yellow, different curtains, different life behind the glass. He looked at it for a long minute, then turned the key and drove away without ever going inside. That was the final time he measured himself against what had been taken. After that morning, he drove straight to the kitchen table. Years later, the same table waits in the early dark. Same chair, same window catching the first thin light. The notebook lies open. Pages filled in the same steady hand. The coffee cools slowly beside it. He no longer asks whether this feels like recovery. Some mornings the silence still sits with him, but now it feels like the place where the next version of his life quietly continues. And somewhere down the road, another man is probably sitting in his own car, staring at something he once called his, wondering how long he can stay there before he has to drive away.